Whew, it is hot. We've got to get in the truck, the Dodge, and we're going to head out and go pick up all those things that we got at the last auction. I did a wire transfer, got everything paid for, got my release forms. We're going to try and get the big trailer today, but we want to look at a couple other things and kind of make a plan to get everything else back. So let's hit the road. Trip to pick up auction stuff would be complete if it didn't start to rain. Well, since we're here, we wanted to look at this and see what it's going to take to get it home. See what we got for airlines and fittings full of water. Gonna need a gasket there, seal it. Because I didn't look this over because I just didn't care. Oh yeah, it must be up as far as it goes. It's got a low tire. They must have aired this up. So we've got good old faithful Milwaukee here.
What does that one look good behind it?
I think it's flat. It's flat. Yeah, we'll start with that one's low or flat. We may have to, when we come get this, we'll bring a truck with an air compressor if we need to. I wanted to go look at everything else and see if it's actually roadworthy. I mean, the pictures I saw didn't look terrible. It's like it's been sitting a long time. You could probably just use tires on this side. The other side looks pretty decent. Just want to look at the brake chambers and the air tank and all that kind of crap. Make sure it's actually got lights. I don't think this is a bad trailer at all, especially for what I paid. The lights are all there. I'll have to look and see what kind of 7-pin it uses. The truck I'm gonna bring has both. Hey, we'll need to remember to bring gear oil so we can top off these hubs and just in case.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
know how much these are supposed to take. Oh,
yeah, I don't really see anything alarming here. Cross members all look good. I don't know, we just might have fallen into this okay.
it's supposed to take 80. What do you want in it right now?
Oh, probably 50's fine. I didn't even see any dry rot in them. So need 4 tires maybe on that side. This side tires are good. Alright, you work on this. I'm going to go over the other trailer. I think this is towable just fine. We may have to bring something if we're going to put that truck on here.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just drive the truck now.
Well, if it's roadworthy and...
Yeah, we'll see. And then all we can put the little trailer on top of this one is all.
We could drive the truck around the parking lot a little bit, head out if it's need, and we'll just bring it back.
And if we have trouble, we could just park alongside the road and then come back and put it on this. Maybe. Alright. This is the one I quit on. I don't know if that was a smart decision or not, but it was getting up to the point where there's like no money left, so, you know, I'm not buying this stuff to keep. If I was buying something like that to keep, I'd want a heavier GVW. I like the length of it. GVW is too light. Kidding me. I never get this lucky. First spot, first whatever, I don't. All right, I'm all hooked up and checked the lights. Everything's working. I don't know if we'll have electric brakes or not, but we have lights. It only weighs 4,800 pounds. This is marketed as the lightest weight trailer with the highest capacity. This is GVW right now at 12,000, but they'll go to 15.5, and part of that's because of that spread axle suspension they're using there. I'll tell you what this would be good for if you and buddies had side-by-sides. This thing only weighs 4,800 pounds, so you could put 4 side-by-sides on it and probably still be under 10,000 pounds, and you could pull it with a 3/4 ton truck. It's pretty cool.
Well, we got
got the big trailer hooked up and we're on the road and everything seems to be fine. I got the tires aired up on the yellow one mostly. One had a screw in it, but whatever. All the outside tires are for sure good. And we'll be coming back to pick up the rest of the stuff. I'm not sure what we're getting next or how we're doing it, but...
Well, I went over to the little pickup truck, and to my surprise, I turned the key and it fired right up. And I drove it around there a little bit. The brakes pulse a little bit. You know, it's 260,000 miles on that little truck. It's no cream puff, but it's a decent work truck. The fuel gauge doesn't work, so we have no idea how much fuel is in it. And I parked it kind of uphill, and it's shut off. So I don't know if that's just a running problem or if it's just out of fuel. The seat is so worn, it's like sitting on the floor. But what was the nicest thing about the whole truck?
The AC was cold.
The AC was cold. That makes you happy.
Well, yeah, it's a bonus, that's for sure. Especially as hot as it is right now.
Check all the hubs while we're here. Make sure everything's okay. Good. 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 I like to double check my lights too, and I want to check those straps that are holding the axle up. We'll just order a new beam for this thing probably. Look, I got the brakes disconnected on that side for some reason. Not sure why. The other side's hooked up. Huh. Not sure why. Well, they got it disconnected. Oh, I bet you wonder if when the tire blew, if it didn't pull the wiring, got wrapped up in the wiring in that backing plate. You'll have to have two backing plates to make the brakes work right. Maybe. At least we got another spare tire with a good aluminum wheel. We'll put a regular spare on here. After we fix it, we'll put that on, and then we'll just put a regular spare, like a steel wheel. Well, we made it home, and it is still hot. Trailer did just fine, no troubles whatsoever. I stopped again, checked the hubs, everything was fine. I think what I'm going to do is make some phone calls and see if I can find a beam. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say a beam is literally just this tubing section of the axle. It has the perches on it for the springs, and it has a spindle, but no backing plates, no hubs, no bearings, no seals. Just like that side over there, it won't have any of that. I'll see if I can find an axle and some U-bolts, and I probably have another hub and backing plates that are new that we can put on here. And if so, we're going to do that. On this one, they've got that wire taped up for the brakes. I believe I can just rewire the one that's ripped off, just using what's here out of this backing plate, and then resolder these to the magnet in here if need be. I'll have to look into this and see what exactly transpired. I'm thinking there was a tire failure, and maybe shrapnel came up and grabbed that wire and pulled it out. I don't know. I am going to get another aluminum wheel. This trailer originally came with all 4 aluminums with that tread, plus a spare with matching tread, and I want to make it just like it was before. So I'm gonna make some phone calls, see if I can find it. If I can, we're gonna jump in the Peterbilt and we'll go grab it and see if we can get this thing fixed. So I'm headed out to go get a axle, a wheel, and a tire for that trailer. Now I called the dealer that trailer came from and asked them, one, did they have an axle, how much was it, and if they had a wheel and tire, and how much that was, because I'd like it to have the matching aluminum wheel and tire like it's supposed to. So he says that if I want just the beam, it's $295 for a 7,000 pound straight beam. And then if you wanted the complete axle, it's $575. And that includes backing plates and hubs and bearings and seals. It's all assembled that way. No springs, no nothing. And I'm like, do you have those in stock? He goes, I've I've got both. I got it both ways. Okay, do you have a spare tire? I do. Okay, so we drive down here, and I stand here waiting for probably, I don't know what, 40 minutes?
It's been a while.
Waiting on the guy. There's me and 2 other people behind me, and he keeps answering the phone. There's somebody else there. You'd think they just answer the phone and tell him, hey, he's got 3 people lined up. Let me have him call you when he's done. But he doesn't, so we all wait, and then I tell him I'm here for the axle, and I decide to go with the full axle, and he goes, I don't have one. And I'm like, did you sell one? No. So you just told me you had one. And he didn't say anything. Not a word. I said, well, I guess I'll just take the beam. So then I said, I want the spare tire and wheel too. So he's like, okay. So he brings it all up, and oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that the amount on the parts was more than what he told me. And then I'm like, that's not right. It's not what you just told me. So then he looked at his notes and he saw what he told me. Then he changed that. Then he brings the axle out. It's a brand new axle. Everything's fine. But he brings me a spare tire and wheel, and it's a takeoff. It's been on a trailer, and it's from 2023. If you don't know, it's the middle of 2025. I mean, this tire is pushing 2 years old.
It's dirty.
Yeah, and it was 2 years old because it was like 18 week of 23, and it was filthy muddy, and you could see where it had been installed. And I told him, like, I don't want this. There's rocks in the tread. This thing's been run on the road. I'm paying for a new spare tire and wheel. So he's like, well, I'll just have to take the spare off of something else. That's the last one I got. I'm like, okay. So he goes and he brings me another one, and then it's the 30th week of 23. I mean, if I wanted a used tire, I just would have got on the marketplace and found a used trailer tire. It's so frustrating. What has happened to customer service in this country? This is awful. I can't see me going back there. See how much room we got. Well, we're halfway in there, I think. Oh, so much better in here. Whew, okay. Now it's in the shop. We can get these straps off. Put that axle down, which probably not a lot holding this the way they got it. But get these out of here. Not a whole lot to take apart on this side. Now we'll start on the other side. That's it. It's ready to come out. It literally took like half hour. It was nothing. So now we'll slide this one out and get the other one slid in. Well, reverse the process, I guess. I'm replacing the U-bolts and the saddles to the bottom at the same time. I don't know if it's 100% necessary, but I just do it. I think it's just good practice, especially with something being used commercially. This is sometimes where I can save a few bucks. I knew I needed brakes for this side, but I had another 7,000 pound axle. It was a 6-inch drop or 4-inch drop, whatever, and the spindle's bent on that side, so the axle's really not usable. But it was only just a few months old when it was in an accident, so this side brakes is just fine. So I just swapped these over, and they're self-adjusters, so it works out. Save a few bucks there. I didn't have the right hub for it. I've already used that hub for something else, so I did order a new hub. We'll get all of this cleaned up, get the bearings, all new bearings and seals on this side, and put it together. So I got my new hub and new bearings, new seals, cap, and cotter pin I think was in there, but there's two different seal diameters, inside diameter for these spindles. Could be a 2.125, which is that one, or 2.50, which is what we have, 2.50. So I've also checking the bearings here to make sure that this is the correct inside diameter to fit this spindle as well, and then clean off the rust inhibitor off of here. And I just used some WD-40 on there, clean that up and wipe it down. So now we're gonna hose out these bearings, make sure to get all that rust inhibitor out of there, and then we're gonna repack these and we'll clean all this up, get that rust inhibitor out of here. The new seal's in, new bearings in. That seal's packed and ready to go, but we want to lay a good amount of grease in here as well. Not just the bearing, but some extra grease. This is an easy lube hub, so every now and again you can hit the end of this with a grease gun, and this spindle is drilled and ported to hit the outer bearing and the inner bearing. So what happens is there's a big void in between the two of them, so as you pump that, you're giving more grease, and the extra grease is going to move into there. So within reason, you can do that quite a bit, like often I guess, before you need to take that out and clean it, but definitely worthwhile. So I'm going to get some grease in here. We're going to set the new bearing in and start our bearing preload. I'm glad I'm changing these lug nuts out, because these are those clad ones. They got this little sheet metal cover on them, so when you're out somewhere on the road and these things get rust inside here, you can't get a socket on them. We're changing them out for a solid style that have just the cap on the very end pressed in. That's all solid, it's not a cover like this one, so good thing we're doing it. So this is the new wheel and tire, the new drum. They got the brakes back on, everything's finished here. So now we're moving to the front, and we take this hub off, and this is brand new. Look, there's like no contact here. You know, the brakes weren't connected. The wires look like they were ripped out. That's really just odd, but nowhere near as odd as that. I mean, who takes this apart, goes this far, and doesn't put brakes on? Does that make any sense? They put a hub on. This must have been what it took to get it off the road. It needed a hub, so they put a hub on it. So something happened here, and we don't know the story yet, and I'm hoping I don't need to get another axle, but I got to do some checking. I think I have another axle that has the correct brakes on it that we can use, but this is just weird to me. Like, is that plastic or metal? I have to chip that off and see what it is. Just can't tell. That's ground into there though, whatever it was. I wonder if it lost a bearing on this one too, but not as bad. But I guess I better look at this really, really good and make sure I don't need another axle. That would be bad. Oh, look at that. I can see some wear. I don't know if it's bad. Let's get it all cleaned up before we make any assumptions. Well, I've measured the seal surface. It's okay. The bearing surfaces are okay. So, I don't know. Maybe it lost a bearing on this side. Something was wrong. Maybe, I'm wondering if it lost a bearing back here. They kept driving, didn't know, and ground that off. And all that extra load on this one just took its toll on this hub and bearing, which means I need to knock them out and clean them and look at them, because I'm not putting this back together with it being questionable. You know, whoever gets this, we want to make sure that, you know, to the best of our knowledge, it's a good a good trailer with no issues. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and knock them out and see what they look like. I took the old bearings over to the parts washer and I cleaned them up, and I think what has happened is this bearing failed. This probably failed first, and he kept driving till, you know, the hub and the wheel came off, and he drug the spindle, and then it put extra stress on this one, and it probably ruined this bearing, which then let the old drum rub into the backing plate here. The spindle's okay, and I cleaned the bearings up. We're here. We're gonna clean this hub up. So far it looks like this was put on and taken off the road. Like that's what it took to get it off the road when the failure happened. Because that race looks okay. The inside looks like. See what I mean? Look at that. That was red grease. Look how bad. Actually, this looks like a different axle grease here completely. What we got? Shoot. No. That race looks okay. Okay, well, I guess we'll clean it up, get a couple bearings and a seal, put it back together. I'll go find some brake shoes for it. So I had to change the backing plate complete because it was bent, and the brakes would bind up against the back of the drum. Telling you what, ever since we were down in West Virginia and we got them thorns in us, my hands hurt so bad, my wrist hurt. I got them all through here and here. Like, it is hard for me to do this stuff. Like, just this right here, man. I don't know what's in them thorns, but something my body doesn't like, that's for sure. A lot better than the last one, huh?
Yeah, that one was terrible.
Okay, now I need the anti-seize.
I put them, look at me, over there. Over there. The new ones are there, yeah.
We'll wash this up real good and get it up for sale. Okay, I think we can clean that stuff up, and guess I can start on the wiring. It's the next day. Got the trailer all finished up and outside. My wife gave it a quick wash to get some of the dirt and grime off of it. I got the backing plates all finished up and wired. Got them all zip tied in. I took advantage of the opportunity and fixed some boogered up wiring I didn't like over here. I rechecked the U-bolts with a torque wrench, make sure they were tight. Checked the air pressure in the tires, they're good. The brakes seem to be working good and adjusted up good, so we're happy about that. All the lights work. My wife is going to touch up some of these scratches here and there if it ever stops raining. I need to cut this padlock off because obviously I didn't get that key when I got the trailer. And I want to make sure these ramps are locked to the trailer because these are expensive ramps. They're 9 feet long, and it allows you to get some pretty low profile cars and vehicles on here, so we don't want to lose them, plus they are expensive. So we'll get that. I got on the Mighty Products website and I ordered up some over the tire wheel straps. These are very similar to what this thing would have came with. 2 of them were holding that one axle up. Only they are swivel J's, and I ordered the standard J's, which might have been a happy accident because less moving parts the better, maybe. These hook right in the expanded metal. They go over top of the tire, and these rubber blocks kind of help them from moving. That's what these are for, so it doesn't slide. Keeps that strap right over top of the tire, which is really nice. I ordered 12 of them, so this trailer will be set up just as it was, brand new from the factory. Now keep in mind this trailer was only in use for a couple months, you know, not very long at all. So the new owner will get all these. I have to get a key for this toolbox, so I don't have one of those. This trailer is 92 inches wide by 48 feet long, and it is advertised and marketed as the lightest car hauler with the heaviest capacity, with the most capacity. It's currently set at 12,000 pound GVW. It has 2 7,000 pound axles with spread, which definitely helps with the load, because when you spread that axle part, you can get a little more even load on each axle instead of on one. Like I said, 12,000 pound GVW, but that can be changed. The reason it's at 12,000 right now is because most modern 1-ton trucks that you would hook to are going to have a GVW in the 13s up to 14,000 pounds. So if you hook this to one of those and you're in commerce, you're under 26,000, or you're 26,000 or under, which means you don't need a CDL. If it was 26,001 pound or more combined gross vehicle weight rating or single gross vehicle weight rating, requires a CDL if you're in commerce. And a lot of states, they have some goofy rule that any trailer being towed that has a GVW of 10,000 pounds or more requires a CDL. And if that's the case, you know, you have the manufacturer put this at $9,999 if you didn't want to be a CDL in commerce. This manufacturer will change this GVW as low as you want, all the way up to 17.5. So there is potential here to really be able to haul a decent amount. This side's all buttoned up too. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. My wife's, like I said, she's going to touch up some of the paint. This trailer sells for $18,500 or $18,950, somewhere in that area, plus tax and title when it's new. So I'm going to sell this thing for $9,950. It's just about half price from what it would be just a few months ago, and it's set up the way it was from the factory. So it'll make somebody a really cool car hauler. So if you had a bunch of rat rods or collector cars you take to the show, put 3 of them on here with no troubles. If you got side-by-sides, you guys are going to take a trip, put 4 of your side-by-sides on this thing and pull it with a 3/4 ton truck, single rear wheeled, you know. What I'm going to do is put it up for sale. If it hasn't sold by a certain date, I'm going to run it to a trailer dealer I know and see about trading it in on a gooseneck deck over with a hydraulic dovetail, or a dovetail with fold-over ramps with a GVW of at least 24,000, prefer 25, and a deck length I need total deck and dovetail of 32 to 36, somewhere in that area. So if if I can make a deal that way and it hasn't sold, that's what I'll do. If I'm not happy with that, we may just run this thing right back through the Ritchie Brothers auction, see what it does. Never know. I might make a little money. I might break even. I might lose a little money. Or I may lose a lot of money. You never can tell about an auction, you know. Doesn't take much for things to go sideways, that's for sure. But anyways, I got it listed. We'll see if we can get it sold and go from there. If we do, I'll bring you guys along. If anybody out there looking for a trailer like this, email me, j.c.smith@projects@gmail.com, and we'll set you up. I got a clean, clear Ohio title ready to go. Make somebody a cool trailer for about half price. Not too bad at all. Hope you guys enjoyed the process, and I'll bring you along, let you know what it turns into and what happens. Thanks for watching.